Hello, I'm Sheryl, and this is Sleep Tight Relax, a weekly bedtime show for anyone who needs good sleep. In tonight's story, a young otter is fascinated by an older otter known for his incredible luck. The young otter admires the older one's sleek fur and the mysterious white tip on his tail, which everyone believes is the source of his good fortune. Through an unexpected turn of events, the young otter discovers the true secret behind this luck. Now, let's get cozy and get ready to relax. Close your eyes if you like and feel warm and secure. Now, I would like you to focus on your breathing. Take 3 soft, slow breaths and feel how the air fills your body. Next, breathe in and feel air coming in through your nose. Breathe out through your mouth and count 1. Breathe in and notice air filling your lungs. Breathe out and count 2. Breathe in and see the air filling your belly like a balloon. Breathe out and count 3. Repeat this a few more times, noticing how the air comes in through your nose, fills your belly, and then goes out through your mouth. Taking deep belly breaths helps us relax and focus at any time of the day. But it's a great habit to have before sleep. Try to keep breathing slowly and deeply as we continue with our story, The Lucky Otter. During warm weather, the otters did not often visit the pond. They had to stay closer to home and care for their babies. When food was not as plentiful in winter, and their youngest children were old enough to come along, they visited every day. Their home was not far from the pond. The otters lived by a waterfall in the river and had burrows in the banks, where the young otters stayed until they were big enough to venture out. The parents were very busy, with 4 or 5 or 6 hungry and restless children needing to be taught many things. They were related to the weasels who lived by the farmyard and had the same slender bodies and short legs. Like the weasels, they sometimes climbed trees, but not often. They did most of their hunting in the river, swimming with their bodies almost entirely underwater, and diving and twisting gracefully. On land, they could tell by smelling where to go for their food. The otters were a very dark brown, with scattered long, shining hairs of an even darker shade in their soft fur, making their coats very beautiful. Their fur was darker on their backs than on the underside of their bodies, and their tapering, bushy tails were almost black. Their underjaws were white, and they were very proud of them. Perhaps it was because they had so little white fur that they valued it so much. Often we treasure what is scarce or hard to get. There was one older otter by the river who had a white tip on his tail, which many people had never seen. It was rarer than white upper lips, which happened only once in a great while. This otter was a bachelor, and nobody knew why. Some said he was waiting to find a partner with a white-tipped tail, but he was too wise to wait for something that might never happen. He lived alone, fishing and hunting just for himself. He could dive more quickly, stay underwater longer, and hunt by scent better than any other otter around. His fur was sleeker and shinier than his friends, and the sisters of his friends thought he ought to marry them. When the otters visited together, someone always spoke of the otter's luck. They said that whatever he did, he was always lucky. It's all because of the white tip on his tail, they said. That makes him lucky. The young otters heard their parents talking and wished they had been born with white tips on their tails, so they could be lucky too. Once, the bachelor heard them wishing this, and he smiled and showed his beautiful teeth, telling them that it was not the tip of his tail, but his whole body that made him lucky. He didn't smile to show his teeth out of vanity. He just smiled and showed his teeth. A family of young otters lived at the foot of the waterfall, where the water splashed and dashed in a way they liked best. There were 4 brothers and 2 sisters in this family, and the brothers were bigger than the sisters, as otter brothers usually are, although they were all the same age. One was much larger than the rest, so they called him Big Brother. Big Brother thought there was never such a fine otter as the bachelor, and he used to follow him around, looking at the tip of his tail and wishing he were lucky like him. He wanted to be like him in every way but one. He did not want to be a bachelor. The other young otters laughed at Big Brother and asked if he thought his tail would turn white if he followed the bachelor long enough. Big Brother tolerated it for a while, then he snarled at them, showing his teeth without smiling, and said he would chase anyone who spoke another word about it. After that, nobody dared tease Big Brother about the bachelor. Sometimes they looked at his tail and smiled, but they never spoke, and he pretended not to know what they meant by it. A few days later, the bachelor was caught in a common, clumsy wooden trap put together with nails and twine. It was not near the river, and none of his friends would have found him if Big Brother had not happened along. He could hardly believe what he saw. Was it possible that a trap had dared to catch an otter with a white-tipped tail? Then he heard the bachelor groan, and he knew it was true. He hurried up to where the trap was. "Can't you get out?" he asked. "No," said the bachelor, "I can't. The best way to get out is not to get in, and I've gotten in." "Can't you do something with your lucky tail to make the trap open?" asked Big Brother. "I could do something with my teeth," answered the bachelor, "if they were only where the tip of my tail is. Why are otters always walking into traps?" He was trying hard not to be angry, but his eyes showed how he felt, and that was very angry indeed. Then Big Brother became very excited. "I have good teeth," he said. "Tell me what to do." "If you help me out," said the bachelor, "I will give you my luck." "And what will I do with the tail I have?" asked the young otter, who thought that the bachelor was going to give him his white-tipped tail. "Never mind now," answered the bachelor, and he told the young otter exactly where to gnaw. For a long time there was no sound but that of the young otter's teeth on the wood of the trap. The bachelor was too brave to groan or make a fuss when he knew there was someone around to hear. Big Brother's mouth became very sore, and his stomach became very empty, but he kept working. He feared someone would come for the trap and the otter in it before he finished. "Now try it," he said after he had gnawed for quite a while. The bachelor backed out as far as he could, but his body was stuck in the hole. "You are rumpling your beautiful fur," cried the young otter. "Never mind the fur," answered the bachelor. "I can smooth that down afterward. You will have to gnaw a little bit more on this side." He raised one of his hind feet to show where he meant. It was a beautiful hind foot, thickly padded with short, partly webbed toes and no hair growing between them. The claws were short, sharp, and curved. Big Brother gnawed away. "Now try it," he said. The bachelor backed carefully out through the opening and stood there, looking tired, hungry, and very rumpled. "You are a fine young otter," he said. "Let's get something to eat, and then we'll see about making you lucky." They went to the riverbank and had a good meal. The bachelor ate more than the big brother because his mouth wasn't sore. But Big Brother was very happy. He thought about how handsome he would look with a white-tipped tail, and how, after that, he surely could marry whoever he wished. "Now," said the bachelor, "let's talk about luck. We'll go somewhere private." They found a secluded spot and lay down. The bachelor rolled over 3 times and smoothed his fur. He was still tired from being in the trap. Then he looked at the young otter very sharply. "So, you want my tail?" he asked. "You said you would give me your luck," Big Brother replied, "and everyone knows that your luck is in your tail." The bachelor smiled. "What will you do with the tail you have?" he asked. "I don't know," answered Big Brother. "You wouldn't want to wear 2 tails, would you?" asked the bachelor. "Oh, no," answered Big Brother. "How would that look?" "Well, how will you put my tail in place of yours?" asked the bachelor. "I don't know," answered the young otter, "but you are so wise that I thought you might know some way." He began to feel discouraged and thought that the bachelor's offer didn't mean much after all. "Don't you think," said the bachelor slowly, "that if you could have my luck, you could get along pretty well with your own tail?" "Why, yes," said the young otter, who had begun to fear he would not get anything. "Yes, but how can that be?" The bachelor smiled warmly. "I always tell people," he said, "that my luck isn't in my tail, but they rarely believe me. I'll share the secret of my luck with you, and you can have luck just like mine if you put in the effort." He looked around to ensure nobody was near. He listened carefully with his 2 little round ears that were almost hidden in his head fur. Then he whispered to Big Brother, "The secret is to always try your best and do everything a little better each time. With determination and hard work, you'll create your own luck." "Is that all?" asked the young otter. "That is enough," answered the bachelor. "Keep trying and trying and trying until you can dive deeper, stay underwater longer, run faster, and smell farther than other otters. Then you will have good luck when theirs might not be so lucky. You will have plenty to eat. You can have sleek, shining fur. Luck is not a matter of white-tipped tails." The more the young otter thought about it, the happier he became. "I don't see that I am to have your luck after all," he said. "When I have learned to do everything in the best way, it will be my own luck." "Of course," answered the bachelor. "Then it is a kind of luck that cannot be lost. If I carried mine in the tip of my tail, somebody might bite it off and leave me unlucky." Big Brother kept the secret and worked hard until he had become as lucky as the bachelor. One day, a beautiful and strong otter, impressed by his determination and kindness, asked him to marry her. Overjoyed, Big Brother agreed. It is said that one of their sons has a white-tipped tail, but that may not be so. If you are still awake, I would like you to whisper to yourself or just say in your mind, "I treat everyone with kindness and respect. I believe in my abilities and keep trying, even when things are tough. I can improve each day by trying my best. I create my own luck through hard work and perseverance. I am kind and helpful to those around me. I am calm, relaxed, and peaceful. Good night. Sleep tight.